Nigeria faces a range of challenges that put it in a perilous situation. Currently, the country grapples with persistent ethnic conflicts, terrorist threats, and significant economic problems. In Nigeria in Peril, ethnic conflicts, terrorism, and economic challenges, we delve into the depths of this multifaceted crisis. Ethnic conflicts. Nigeria is a country with significant ethnic and cultural diversity, home to over 50 different ethnic groups. However, this diversity has also been a source of tensions and conflicts. Disputes over land, natural resources, and political power have led to violent clashes between ethnic groups, resulting in loss of life, mass displacements, and destruction of communities. Ethnic conflicts in Nigeria have deep historical roots, often tied to the unequal distribution of resources and competition for political influence. For example, in the central part of the country, conflicts between the predominantly Muslim Hausa Fulani people and indigenous Christian communities have caused tensions and violence. In the Niger Delta, disputes over oil wealth and economic benefits have resulted in conflicts between ethnic groups and the emergence of militant groups. These ethnic conflicts not only lead to a high number of casualties and infrastructure destruction but also have a significant impact on social stability and national cohesion. They undermine trust among ethnic groups, generate fear and mistrust, and fuel feelings of marginalization and exclusion. Moreover, these conflicts have hindered sustainable socio-economic development and the consolidation of a unified national identity. To address ethnic conflicts in Nigeria, a comprehensive and multifaceted approach is needed. Firstly, it is crucial to promote inter-ethnic dialogue and reconciliation, seeking mutual understanding and respect for the country's cultural and religious diversity. This can be achieved through negotiation forums, reconciliation committees, and awareness and inter-ethnic education programs. Additionally, there is a need to strengthen security and justice institutions, ensuring that crimes related to ethnic conflicts are investigated and perpetrators held accountable. Promoting a culture of respect for human rights and combating impunity are essential for establishing trust among different ethnic groups. Terrorism. Nigeria faces significant challenges related to terrorism, being one of the countries most affected by the threat of the Boko Haram group. Boko Haram, which roughly translates to Western education is forbidden, is an Islamic extremist group that seeks to impose its radical interpretation of Islamic law across the country. Boko Haram emerged in the 2000s, initially as a religious movement opposed to Western education. Over the years, it has evolved into a violent extremist group, carrying out deadly attacks against civilians, security forces, and government institutions. Their methods include bombings, mass abductions, attacks on schools, and suicide bombings, causing immense suffering and instability in the country. The attacks by Boko Haram have devastating effects on the security and well-being of the Nigerian population. Thousands of people have been killed, and many others have been displaced from their homes, creating a significant humanitarian crisis. Communities affected by terrorism face damage to infrastructure, disruption of basic services, and difficulties in accessing food, water, and health care. In addition to Boko Haram, Nigeria also faces the threat of other terrorist groups, such as the Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP and armed separatist groups. These groups exploit the ethnic, religious, and socio-economic divisions in the country to recruit members and promote their violent agendas. They capitalize on the population's dissatisfaction with governance and lack of opportunities to gain support. The fight against terrorism in Nigeria requires a comprehensive and coordinated approach. It is essential to strengthen the capabilities of security forces to effectively combat terrorist groups and disrupt their operations. This involves proper training, providing modern equipment, and cooperation with international partners in intelligence sharing and best practices in counterterrorism. Economic challenges. Dependency on natural resources. Nigeria is a country rich in natural resources, especially oil. However, excessive dependence on this sector has been a hindrance to sustainable development. Fluctuations in international oil prices can significantly impact the country's economy, leading to financial crises and instability. Additionally, the lack of economic diversification makes Nigeria vulnerable to external shocks and hinders job creation in other sectors. Corruption and mismanagement. Widespread corruption is a persistent challenge in Nigeria, compromising economic growth and the quality of public services. Lack of transparency, accountability, and effective governance undermines investor confidence and discourages business growth. Corruption also contributes to income inequality, with resources being diverted at the expense of equitable social and economic development. Inadequate infrastructure. Inadequate infrastructure is a barrier to Nigeria's economic growth and competitiveness. Lack of proper investment and maintenance results in significant deficiencies in roads, electricity, public transportation, and telecommunications. Inadequate infrastructure increases production costs, limits access to markets, and hampers the development of key sectors such as agriculture and industry. Unemployment and poverty. Nigeria faces high unemployment rates, particularly among the youth. The lack of formal employment opportunities, combined with rapid population growth, poses a significant challenge to the country's social and economic stability. Poverty is widespread, with a substantial portion of the population living below the poverty line and struggling to meet basic needs.